Merseyside police told us that currently only 1 in 4 hate crimes are reported. Many gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgender people suffer hate crimes and are sometimes reluctant to report it. Often they don't understand that they've been the victim of a hate crime, or they don't trust the police and are afraid of being outed by reporting their attack, or that no action will be taken if they did report it. Recent figures show that in the London metropolitan area, homophobic crimes have increased by almost 14%, and this is reinforced by our work locally with young people who have suffered from homophobic bullying. We decided to do something about it.
Project Triangle is a year-long programme of hate crime initiatives working across Liverpool with young LGBT and other young people across the city. When I was 18, I went to Greenham Common. A lot of my friends were politically involved in LGBT politics. Gay Sweatshop were around putting plays on about what it was like to be gay. The Women's Theatre Group were around. And a lot of young people had an awareness of what it was to be gay and the discrimination that they faced. Nowadays, I think there's an assumption in some people that we've achieved equality, and we may have done in terms of legislation, but culturally I think there's still a huge way to go. And we wanted to do a project that involved young people in some of that history, and also gave them an appreciation of where they were as young gay people in their lives and how they were treated. And how homophobia and hate crime affects them and affects other people across Europe. The project started in May of this year when we planted a pansy installation in the garden of the home of Marie and Michael Causer, the parents of Michael Causer, the young gay man that was murdered last year. It then continued with a series of 8 weeks of workshops where we worked with young LGBT people on hate crime, on the experience of gay people in the Holocaust, team building, and on what it's like to be a young gay person in Liverpool and ultimately in Warsaw. We decided that we would take the young people over to Poland, where we wanted them to visit Auschwitz and get some appreciation of the history and struggle behind LGBT politics.
That's brilliant. Okay. You look at the lens for me?
Until recently, most LGBT people preferred to avoid attention. Many still do. Even today, the penalties for those who refuse to conceal themselves or fail to do so can be severe. They can range from ostracism and victimisation to assault and even murder. In the past, the silencing of LGBT people was often reinforced by legislation. The most recent example was Section 28. Passed in 1988 and repealed in 2003, it was intended to restrict the debate on homosexuality, particularly in schools. Since the 1950s, there have been some significant victories for LGBT rights, resulting in legislation changes in Britain and in Northern Ireland.
visit to Poland is a real big opportunity for me to learn some things about gay, lesbian, bisexual issues, but in a place where it's really different to how we deal with things here. Over here we have these Sigma teams, we deal with hate crime very, very well, and we support our victims and our witnesses who are victims of hate crime. But it's quite a big difference in Poland, how it's treated, how people are supported. So it'd be great to show some of the young people that we're taking over actually the comparisons between how we treat our victims and witnesses and how other countries really don't do it.
Really, I've been in the police now for 30 years and I've seen huge changes between how it was and how it is now, and in particular around sort of diversity issues. And I would say 30 years ago we didn't have any gay people in the police because nobody talked about it. It was one of those things that it was kind of an unmentionable, really. And I suppose if it ever was mentioned, it would be in derogatory terms 30 years ago. So if you were to say to me, did you have any gay friends? Did you have any officers or staff in the police service who were gay 30 years ago? I would have said, absolutely not.
I mean, I think for me, when you look at kind of the police now, I mean, I've got 13 years service in as of next week. When I look back to 10 years ago and think what it was like being gay then to being gay in the police now, it's completely unrecognisable for me. But I'm also obviously aware of those people in the organisation who don't feel able to be out at work, or colleagues who don't understand the impact of their own language and their own behaviour on colleagues who may or may not be gay or may know somebody who's gay or bisexual. But I think as an organisation we've grasped the nettle with talking about it, which is huge.
Whilst we do have a lot of people who are openly gay, we still have those people who don't feel comfortable enough in a police environment to actually say, this is who I am. Because that's what we're talking about, isn't it? We're talking about people being able to say, this is me, I am whoever I am, whatever that brings with it. So, you know, whilst I would say yes, we've moved considerably over the years, and certainly compared to 30 years ago when I joined, we've moved a long way, but we've still got a long way to go, I would suggest.
This project is for me, it's just absolutely massive. It's so innovative, and for us to have that unique insight into 12 young LGBT people, their perceptions, their hopes, their kind of thoughts about policing in the 21st century and hate crime, and remembering, you know, those people who suffered in the atrocities of the Holocaust is just massive for us as a police service. And for me personally, as somebody who works within the hate crime field, who runs our gay network for police officers and staff, and so far with Triangle, I've been astonished with some of the things I've heard, some of the positives, and to be honest, not very few negatives so far, so I'm bracing myself.
Oh, really? Okay.
My name is Becky, I'm 18 and I live in Fazaki. I'm really comfortable living around here, and yeah, I do feel really safe. I come down here most days with a lot of my mates and my partner. I'm working 2 jobs. I work behind the bar and I work with children with special needs, and I'm in full-time college doing health and social care. I did want to work with kids mainly, but I think now I'm leaning towards more joining the police rather than anything else really.
My name's David, I'm 17 and I live in West Derby. And we're in Fact, which is in Liverpool, by the cathedral and stuff. I usually hang out here because it's a really nice place, they're chilled out and movies are great and stuff. So when I think of sexuality and stuff like that, I think it's something that's personal to you and you shouldn't be openly just saying, it's something that's personal to me.
Well, I moved to Huyton last year. I used to live in Kirby, and it's not too bad as long as no one knows you're gay. So you pretty much just keep your head down, it's fine. Some people know, obviously, because I'm obviously quite out and stuff like that. I do get a bit of grief after ones, like, that, you know, find a bit of a bit different, to put it. But it's alright, I don't mind it. I've finished my college course now and I go to university in, well, this month, and like I'll be doing film and video production, and I make like short films. I make like it varies. I've got one about vampires, and I've got one like one's addressing like issues about self-harm, and then I've got ones all random ones. So I make all different ones. It's quite good, and I want to continue making them, and like hopefully, you know, wide ambitions, like be a director or something along those lines.
My name is Natalie Hayes. I'm working with Sci-Fi and Rescue Service Speaking Programme. We work with 13 to 16 year olds, 16 to 25 year olds, people including antisocial behaviour or could be a victim of antisocial behaviour. That's my role, working as a group and getting to work as a team and getting to understand the role of a firefighter. They've motivated each other, they've worked well, they've supported each other. Actually, I can see some natural firefighters in the group. So yeah, I'm hoping to see a few in the firefighting industry in a couple of years' time.
I'm Matty and I'm from Southport. It's about 20 minutes from town centre, and when you get there all the shops are closing down anyway, so there's nothing to do, and the fair's gone as well, so we've only got a temporary fair and that's it. I got involved coming on the trip because it's an experience to see how other people are treated in a different country. Today's been quite good fun because we've got to know everyone a bit more and work as a team, and also had a laugh with all the fire hoses and the foam and everything.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm from Runcorn, sunny Runcorn. Runcorn is pretty safe, but it always depends on the people that you know, because the people that I hang around with really aren't asked about you being gay or a lesbian or bisexual or anything. But if you walk around, say, Murdershore, which is a Runcorn, holding your girlfriend's hand or something, there's probably a 90% chance that you will get shouted abuse at, quite a lot as well. And there's been like a couple of people that are after me just because I'm a lesbian and stuff, but it's alright if you're in the closet. Like playing my drums, go horse riding a lot. Horse riding's fun, I love it. And just hanging around, basically. Don't get up too much. What made me interested in going on the Poland trip was probably the fact that my granddad was from Poland, and he was one of the liberators from Dachau at the Holocaust, and he's been to Auschwitz as well, and quite a lot of my family live over there, so I think there'd be a lot of history for me there. I think being a gay person over there will probably be a lot easier now. I know my mum didn't know, well, my mum still thought that it was like illegal to be gay over in Poland, so when I did actually tell her, she actually told me I was probably going to get shot. And I was like, right, okay, that's really nice, thanks for that, Mum. And now that I've told her a lot more about it, she's like, oh, you'll be fine then, but now that it's not illegal over there anymore, I'll probably get like abuse or something, or comments or snidey looks if you walk around holding the girl's hand, but I don't think it'll be that bad. Well, I hope it won't anyway, because I don't fancy getting shot.
My name's Andrew Bruffel. I'm 18 and we're here at Liverpool Cathedral. At the moment I'm cross-guild. The cross-guild is where we take part in the services, clear the altar and what have you, which is effectively like the Catholics' altar boy, but it's the Anglicans' version, so to speak. I've been doing that for roughly 15, 14 years, something like that now. nobody's really derogatory or discriminatory against anybody. Everybody's just welcome. In my sort of experience, it's been okay in my hometown of Hunts Cross, but if they've then ventured out and gone into say Speke or Hale Wood, it's been more difficult to sort of, because you've had name calling and what have you over the roads and what have you, but in Hunts Cross it's just like a safe haven.
My name is Jade and I live in Widnes and I'm 17 years old. Widnes isn't that good. It could be better, but I suppose it could be worse. I think parts of it's safe, but parts are rough, like anywhere you go, really. I live just in the middle, so it's not that bad. People around my area don't know that I'm a lesbian, so therefore I don't know if it'll be safe or not, because there's lots of lads, really boy lads who live there, so I don't think it's any of their business to know about me anyway, so don't let them know.
Hi, my name's Tim and I live across the water from Liverpool in Whittle. I feel pretty safe over there. I only go over there to sleep mainly. I have areas where I feel safe and not safe. It's not because any particular reason, but I prefer Liverpool. Although I live across the water in the Whittle area, Morton. For the country to have a historical event like the Holocaust, you'd think they'd learn from that and they'd grow up to have, to be more tolerant to everyone and more accepting. It just doesn't make sense to me, so I'd like to go over there to learn more about it.
I'm Emily, I'm 15, soon to be 16 in a week. I live in Southport. I play golf and work a lot. I try and play a few times a week when I get time. Obviously when I'm in school I can only play on weekends. But I try and practice as much as I can, how many lessons I can. I've not got a clue what I want to do, but it's not golf. Maybe teaching, helping out with communities and things, in the police or army, quite fun. Everyone knows someone that's gay and everyone's close to someone that's gay, so I don't know how they can victimise people because they don't know them and how they act. So I just think everyone should be happy. So yeah.
I'm looking forward to the trip because it's the first time I've been abroad with a youth group. So in some ways I'll be sharing the excitement with the young people. We've done a series of workshops together over the last few months where we've tried to do team building activities and information sharing about their likes and dislikes and what makes them tick. I am a little concerned for the young people in the group because they're used to being free and going out on the scene in Liverpool. They're used to just being themselves and being naturally spontaneous and affectionate with their friends. I'm worried a little bit that they might not have such freedom when they're there. They might just try to be themselves and want to give their friend a hug, and it might be unsafe for them to do that.
I'm really excited.
Good one. Smile! I did it with Wallace and Gromit.
No, I'm really excited about it. I'm glad everyone got on the trip okay. I'm glad we got through passport control without anyone getting too frisked. So yeah, it was a pleasant experience. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be happy once we arrive.
So I feel so normal sitting next to these.
This is my first time flying on any plane. The takeoff reminded me of when I was at Alton Towers and I was on visa.
It's a bit weird because it's finally actually here and we're actually going to do it. And it was
Firstly, it was like, oh yeah, we're going to go to Poland, and now it's here, we're on the plane. We're virtually halfway there, give or take.
It's fun. The take-off was a bit funny. My ears still haven't popped properly yet. When I get back, I'm doing a dissertation on the LGBT community in Poland, so that's going to be fun.
The German invasion of Poland began on September the 1st, 1939. In response, Britain and France declared war on Germany and later its ally Italy. During the next 2 years, German forces were victorious, invading Denmark and Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, France, Yugoslavia and Greece. The Nazis had a plan for German society which valued sameness and not diversity. Their goal was to make Germany exclusively racially superior, and they had an ideal image of a German citizen: strong and healthy, fair-skinned, blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Nazi ideology stated that not all humans were equal. Some were even considered subhuman if they did not fit the ideal. The Nazis hated anyone that was different, including those who fitted their idea of normality but had different views or thoughts which did not adhere to Nazi ideology. Groups that did not fit this ideology were singled out for persecution and deliberate mass extermination through constructed killing centres such as Auschwitz and Birkenau in Poland. In these camps alone, between 1940 and 1945, the Nazis deported at least 1,300,000 people for being different. These included 1,100,000 Jews, 150,000 Poles, 23,000 Gypsies, 15,000 Soviet prisoners of war, and 23,000 prisoners from other ethnic groups. Often unreported is that an estimated 10 to 15,000 people were deported to concentration camps for being gay using the pre-existing legislation, paragraph 175. Many, but not all, were assigned pink triangles. Most died in the camps, often from exhaustion. Many were castrated, and some subjected to other gruesome medical experiments. Collective murder actions were undertaken against gay detainees, exterminating hundreds at a time. After the war, the Allies chose not to remove the Nazi amended paragraph 175. Neither they, nor the new German states, nor Austria would recognise homosexual prisoners as victims of the Nazis, a status essential to qualify for reparations. Indeed, many gay men continued to serve their prison sentences.
The first prisoners were deported here in June 1940. They were Polish members of resistance, Polish intellectuals. Then political prisoners from almost whole Europe were deported here.
Being in Auschwitz was quite an emotional experience.
The average number of the prisoners
It was not unlike
I
expected it to be.
When the number of the prisoners was growing, the camp was
Some of the things the guide said
prisoners built new
were quite
buildings.
shocking.
Now we can see 20
And some of the pictures we saw were quite graphic
They built a
and
double
upsetting.
electrified fence, the gate, the kitchen. On the right side you can see the kitchen with the chimneys. The prisoners built the workshops. Behind you there are a few of them. There the prisoners made the shoes, the uniforms. on the other side we can see Cyclone B. First, Cyclone B was used here as a pesticide. The Germans disinfected the buildings, the uniforms using Cyclone B, but they carried out experiment here with Cyclone B. And they discovered that it was faster, cheaper, and less bloody than executions. So they decided to use this on a big scale. About 12 cans, 6 kilo was enough to kill 2,000 people. So it was very cheap, very efficient agent of killing. You can see blue crystals in the showcase. There are crystals of soil saturated with cyanide. Cyanide, strong poison, it could be gas or liquid, but it was much easier to transport poison if there were such crystals. The crystals were dropped to the gas chamber. Temperature of human body activated poison
The worst parts for me was when we went down the gas chambers and the crematorium. That was the most upsetting part of the day.
It was horrible. It makes you think how could it get to that level of it was just like you'd walk in, you see like fingernails on the walls, and it was just a grim, horrible place. Just draws the life out of you. It's not a nice thing.
It angered me to not see or hear anything about LGBT people who were in Auschwitz, but like that whole time someone said that it was just a small fraction of people that were LGBT, but that small fraction added up to the total figures, and it was like they were people like us suffering worse than we would ever imagine to suffer, and it wasn't mentioned, and that really got on my wick.
I think mainly like the LGBT people who went to Auschwitz didn't really get a chance, and they just got put to one side, and then once they got put to one side, that was it. Then like they don't really talk about it much, so it's just like they weren't even there, like they didn't even exist.
As we were walking around Auschwitz and the lady was describing everything, kept on tensing up because I didn't know how this was allowed to happen and how people could let people do this. It's just inhumane of how it's happened. And so yeah, I've just taken a breath away from the group to calm down basically, because I am really tense, put it that way.
train travelling to Warsaw. We're actually going to meet some people at the Polish embassy today, both police officers and the leader for the Human Rights Commission. And the purpose of the visit today is to actually talk to people at the embassy and police officers from Poland to describe to them the importance we attach to dealing with what we call hate crimes. It's something that we're comfortable dealing with in Merseyside. I think part of the problem for me is the way things are at the moment in Poland. It feels like a very homophobic society. Therefore, the police feel like they're quite homophobic, and I know in some of the responses we've had, they've been quite challenging for me, really. And I think today is about sort of saying to people, look, this is okay, let's talk about it. You know, it's not an easy topic, but, you know, we won't learn from each other unless we ask questions and we take opportunities like this. And one of the things I've done is I've brought lots of literature with me. And part of the whole process is about giving them a presentation, showing them how important it is to take these issues seriously and deal with them seriously. But some of it is about, let's just start the debate, really. Let's kind of put our cards on the table, let's have that dialogue. And really, for me, today is about trying to get them to think about the issues, and hopefully we'll be able to work with them to develop their skills and expertise the way we've developed ours. One of the things that we brought with us today is a plaque. It's a Merseyside Police plaque, and it's the type of thing that we give to visitors or people who host our trips. One of the things that's particularly special about this plaque is it's a plaque for us to present to the embassy, but it's not just from Merseyside Police Diversity Team, it's also from Homotopia. And I think there's a significance here about, again, the joint agency, the relationship, and us demonstrating our work with Homotopia and the success that that's created for us. I was impressed with Christoph, the guy from the embassy. I was also impressed with the two people from KPN. I thought they were really, really good. I'm not convinced about the police, I have to say. And maybe they were overawed by what we were talking about. We are always very open and honest about some of the things where we don't get it right, which I thought we shared with them. But I didn't get the impression that they were going to be on the phone tomorrow saying, help. And really, when you've gone through a process that you know they're going to have to go through, so whilst it might not look exactly the same, you know some of the pitfalls that they're going to meet. If the shoe were on the other foot, I would be saying, you know, how should we do this? How should we embark on this? What should the training programme look like? You know, and I'd be asking them all those things, and I just didn't get that. They were very nice and polite, but I got more from everybody else at that meeting than I did from them, and I might be wrong. My impression during the presentation was that they were a bit bored, actually. But again, I might be wrong, I don't know. And time will tell.
I don't think it was a boredom, I think it was more a case of it's just not there. You can't grasp it until you dip your toe in, can you? And they're not there.
I think it was quite easy for them to sort of say things like funding, we haven't had this, and you know, we've had blockages here, and that's why I kept bringing it back to, but somebody needs to be bold and brave, and somebody needs to stand up and say we're doing this because it's the right thing to do. I don't care what if we haven't got money, okay, let's do it with what we've got, or let's do it with, you know, but that language, we just spoke about it in the cab. That's why I asked the question, because it was he. No, we don't have any gay staff. We're not even allowed to ask for the data, so we won't bother. Well, just because legally you can't do it doesn't mean to say that
it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, or someone should be saying to someone, well, why can't we ask them that? We know where they live, so why can't we ask this? And if they don't want to answer, fine. But it didn't seem any kind of energy for actually finding out what their workforce is. It's all right saying we've got younger people joining and younger, you know, the generation is changing, which is great, isn't it? That they've got that younger police joining with different attitudes. So get into them and get into them and find out.
The thing for me as well was, though, I kept saying we've been through pain. Yeah. They never asked what that pain was.
No.
They didn't say.
They didn't ask a lot of questions.
No, they didn't.
Did they?
They didn't seem curious.
No.
You know, that's why I thought they haven't got it, really.
Change can happen really quickly if everybody wants it, can't it? If you got, and that's what I kept saying. You know, I sort of did a little bit of what I did, but then suddenly the team gets bigger when you pick your allies and pick your mates everywhere, don't you? It kind of it can be done if you want it, and if it can happen in Merseyside Police, it can happen. In I was going to say Warsaw, but maybe not.
What we're looking for is, you know, what is it like to be gay in Poland? You know, what are the differences between the way we've developed and how it is here now?
So now it's better that it used to be, because it was we started campaign against homophobia started in 2003 with the first big action, social campaign Let Them See Us, and we showed on the billboards and in galleries 30 pictures of gay couples holding hands.
Right.
And it was the first time in 2003, first time when public opinion saw gay people, not just like pictures from Pride or somebody with this kind of label,
right.
But just ordinary gay people on the pictures, and the newspapers were like killing almost themselves to get the models, get the pictures, and put to the newspaper, because it was so new for Poland. And of course, also homophobia became more visible in Poland since that time, because we had very huge homophobia, but maybe secret, because it wasn't something which we discussed publicly. And after that we had this right-wing movements, very strong. They went to government. The leader of Roman Giertych was the leader of ultra-right-wing movement, was the head of Ministry of Education. And literally every week we had, that time it was 2-3 years ago, a press conference about gay people, against gay people, and against campaign against homophobia. And because it was Ministry of Education, also they declared that they work on the law which can ban homosexuals to be teachers,
right.
and so on and so on. So the atmosphere was really like terror,
yeah.
And still I think that in schools teachers feel this terror. They cannot say openly if they are homosexual, of course, because they are too afraid. But they also don't want to educate about homosexuality.
No.
So in fact, first of all, we don't have in school sexual education, like at all, practically. And we also, and gay people, young gay people in school, they completely don't have any support. Very rarely you can find a teacher, brave teacher, who can do something, who can do some action, who can support his or her students. But it's very rare still, and we really work hard to change it, because all people know that this education like creates you, in fact. So we will meet today our youth group, and this is something which I'm very happy about, because I see young people in campaign. They come more and more younger and younger people, like 16 years old or 15 years old. It's amazing for Poland, and they are really dedicated. They are really engaged, and they know what to do to change the situation. They know how to make happening. How to write some statement or send to embassy or other public body. So I'm really happy when I see them working every week, and do something for changing their situation. And this is also something which changed in Poland, because we have these young people, and they usually want to be open to their parents or to their school colleagues, and they are accepted somehow.
Wow.
So, and I think that they come to campaign and they feel this power also, because in campaign you can be yourself.
Yeah.
And
you meet other people.
Yes, I think that it's and I also work with people from whole country, whole Poland, and when you unify, when you can feel that you just live normally, you just feel normal, then you can also go and live normal like all your life.
Like growing up here tonight, being gay and such.
I didn't understand the last part of the
being
sentence.
gay.
Growing
up in
for me,
Warsaw.
to me it's okay, but to other people, no, it's not. Well, I feel okay. I'm out. I came out to everyone I know, so I don't feel any tension. But I know people do, and that's what we're fighting against. But in general, yes, I do. I never been beaten up or something because I'm gay.
It's the same with me as the colleague said. I never have been beaten here or anything like this. It's completely okay. Everyone at school knows, my parents know.
There are a few gay clubs, so you can just spend your time the way you like it.
Do you have like a gay pride?
Yes, we have Europride next year, I think, and it's.
How do you think that's gonna go down? Like, are people gonna be okay with it?
I think not, but there are lots of neo-Nazis that will stand aside and throw rocks or something, but you know, it's legal and we have police protection, so I think it's gonna be safe. And
I thought the police weren't as protective.
No, it's their duty. They have to protect any illegal manifestation, so they have to stand and protect us. They would lose their job if they didn't, whether they like it or not.
Around school area, people just call each other gay, meaning like you're gay as in like you're stupid, and it's just like awkward coming out, and it'll advertise and help people find out.
Well, they don't call gay to offend someone, they say peda, which is for faggot. So they call each other faggots all the time, and it doesn't matter whether you are or not gay. So this is also, I think, an issue in Polish schools.
In England, it's easier to advertise, you know, to say like gay people can come here to get advice, and you can come here to like relax and be yourself.
We cannot have like an advertisement in mass media because they wouldn't accept it. So in a public TV, you can't get an advertisement and stuff.
Throughout the whole year, there's things going on for gay people. Like this is one of the coming to Poland is one of the things that we've done as well.
And well, it's good. Maybe you can share your experience with us and tell us how to fight against it. Okay, so what were your expectations about Poland?
Well, I didn't really know much about Poland before the group kind of got together. I didn't think it'd be the same, obviously, because what we talked about in the group of it being like not initially homophobic, but not really down with it.
Do you get any protection off the police?
Against
like homophobia, would they help you out?
It depends on the police. Well, when there is a gay pride, for example, they have to protect us. It's their obligation. But if it's a minor crime, homophobic crime, they just probably do nothing. I wouldn't like to speak for all the police in all of Poland, but basically they would just... I heard of situations that they don't do anything because it's just funny for them that someone attacks you on this basis.
Is there an age of consent difference here in Poland? Because we used to have in Liverpool that it was 18 and 16 for heterosexuals.
but 18's for homosexuals, and then they've sort of changed that back to the same age for both. Is it the same in Poland, or is it the different age?
No, the age for straight people and for homosexual people, it's 15 years old. So 15-year-old people can have sex and there is no restriction.
Right.
Do you feel as if you have to have a certain dress code so you don't get recognised? Because I know in England it's a lot different. Gay people do walk around and you instantly look at them and think, he's gay, because of what he's wearing. So do you ever have thoughts about, oh, I can't wear that, I might look a bit too gay, or...?
Well, it certainly is true that when you look at some people, even if you look here at Warsaw, you'll see lots of people who are dressed like very gay.
Yeah,
and
I've had that mistake with many people.
But I don't like this. It's not that I'm afraid that I might look too gay, because I know I look gay. To many people, I just look gay. And when they tell them I'm gay, they're just, well, I knew it. But there are just some things that I wouldn't wear because I simply don't like them. But in general, in Warsaw, there are lots of people who are very gay-like things.
So you feel comfortable, like?
Well,
with
it depends. Well, I
sexuality?
don't. But about my sexuality, yes, I do feel comfortable. But I don't feel comfortable about wearing such things, such clothes. But generally, I think you get, especially in Warsaw, you get lots of people like this. But in some other parts of Poland, there certainly is a fear of wearing some things because they're too gay.
Do they actually teach in Poland about homosexual relations, or is it like in Liverpool there isn't anything about it?
No, there were quite a few things in school.
Were there?
Yeah, there was something about homosexual relationships, and there were not things about, oh, that's bad. I was learning things like, it's okay, something like this happens, and it wasn't written in the textbooks, but the teachers told us about it, and it was really okay, and I had no problem at school to be to come out and to be myself. I never had such a problem. It was always okay for me, and I was accepted by my friends.
Oh, that's good.
Well, at first, when we were first coming, I thought it'd be quite dull and boring and not much to do, but it was like the complete opposite.
I expected Poland, because of people saying about the homophobia and what have you, to be like skinheads on every corner and be in big groups, and because I like wear nail varnish and makeup all the time, I was expected to be black and blue, but I wasn't going to let anybody else decide what I should look like. I'm my own free person. So I was expected to at least get some form of homophobia, but yeah, we didn't really retrieve anything, and I didn't see any virtual skinhead except for one who came and asked for a ciggy.
I've added them all onto Facebook. Hopefully they're going to come over next year to visit us, and we'll show them around Liverpool.
What I'd really like to see is them come to Liverpool, and for us to take them out in our city centre and let them see how clubs are open, and the fact we've got big drag queens out everywhere, and the fact that everybody's like, oh yeah, he's wearing makeup, I don't care, get on with my life and then I'll worry about his or hers. Yeah, they were really easy to talk to, and I found out a lot of information, and I could imagine that's what we were like 10, 20, 30 years ago compared to what we are now, and it really did show you the appreciation that we should have for the support that we've got from the police force here, and the fact that we have got places that aren't hidden, like the gay scene, and the fact that we've got like Gyro and Armistead and places like that. It's like, wow, we are so lucky.
Happy birthday to you. Happy Happy birthday, dear Mickey. Happy birthday to you.
So I say something, is it?
Oh, that's dead and that is orange.
It was one hell of an experience. We just saw two lesbians on the bedship Poland, which was really cool because the brain was like, you go girls. But I'm really tired now, but it was worth it. It's a fantastic city, it has a lot of beautiful architecture and it was fun.
I think most of all I've thought more about Auschwitz than anything else. It's like the biggest thing that stuck out for me. I have dreams about it and everything, and it's always on my mind. It was a great experience to have, but I'd never go again because it was so upsetting. I mean, some people got really upset, and I think that just kind of imprinted on my mind all the time. That's all I ever think about, really, is how upsetting it was, how bad it must have been to be there. Been back a few weeks, and there's still a lot that goes through your mind from Poland, so there's different things we're seeing and different information and all that we've been given sort of sticks with you. It's just good, but there's still a lot of things that were hard to sort of go through, and a lot of things that were hard to watch, but like in between all that we had quite a bit of fun, so that sort of took our mind off it as well.
Makes you think how we've got it so good over here, if you get what I mean. Because in Poland you were speaking to the other group and you said they got a lot of homophobia, and the police, they were there to protect but they didn't have to, if you get what I mean.
Particularly memorable is probably Auschwitz, and then that was like the most like kind of the climax of the trip for me. I absolutely loved it and hated it at the same time. So, but it has definitely changed me and who I am and what I think about things before I actually say them or do them. And then when I've got quiet time, I always think about what's happened and what's going to happen. Now I can fight the world, kind of thing.
When I got back, I think one of the first things that I did, I went on the Auschwitz website, and they've got this little part of it where you can, say, type in your family name and see if there's any record of anyone on it. And there was actually a record of one person with the second name Balak, spelled the same as mine. And that was a bit weird when I figured that out. And I think if I'd have known that when I was in Auschwitz, I probably would have broken down or something like that.
People need to be more aware that it wasn't just Jewish people that were affected by that, because as I wasn't aware of it till I'd done this, and I think people need to be more aware of everyone that suffered in that, and see them all as individuals and not just groups of people. Auschwitz is, it's still a pretty hard thing to like sort of get used to, the idea of it, and like everything that happened there, and with all like the different camps and being in the gas chamber as well. It's really difficult to sort of be able to understand how people could do that.
I think I saw the group grow in terms of their ability to be able to get along with each other. Some of the young people would never have had the opportunity to mingle together. They are from different sorts of subculture groups in terms of young people. In terms of the knowledge and experience, when we were doing the pre-trips, the pre-trip workshops, I never thought that young people were taking information in. I just thought, oh, it's a jolly, I'm just going to have to sit through this and get through it. But actually I was amazed by how much that they did retain the bits of information, and not only just recalling it but actually interpreting it?
It was incredible. It was exhausting. It was very emotional, but incredibly fulfilling. I think I totally underestimated the impact the trip would have on the young people. I thought some of them would be more interested in shopping and maybe just sightseeing, but they've all bought into the whole process 100%, and I think they got a hell of a lot out of it. I know I did.
I suppose there are three things for me really that came from the trip. One is the impact that we had on the young people, and the relationship that we've developed. So they now are interested in Merseyside Police, which is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. The other positive for me was the impression that we made on the officials in the embassy. You know, we've had emails since saying, you know, what you do is really fantastic. And the other third thing, really important, is the impact that we had on KPH, the equivalent of Homotopia over there in Poland. I think on a day-to-day basis, we probably think, oh, this is just routine, this is just quite normal. But, you know, we're able to reflect after that trip and say, actually, we are doing some really good work. And actually, some of our initiatives are really forward-thinking. And we are quite progressive around some of these things. And I suppose it's only when you go to places like that you think, wow, we have come a long way. Because I can see similarities to where we were all those years ago. And I think I really want to help them move. And we can do that.
Some of the young people from Poland said, you know, when we said to them that, you know, it must be so difficult to grow up gay in Poland, they said, well, surely it must be more difficult in England because we hear about young people being killed because they're gay, whereas that isn't spoken of in Poland. Now, the intriguing thing is, does that mean that it's not actually happening in Poland, or that it is happening but it's not being reported or taken seriously?
I came in like a week before the trip, before we left for Poland, so I didn't know anyone else, but I think it was the first couple of days I was kind of just like reserved and just scoping everyone out, and then after a while I started to like open up and I got to know everyone, and I mean I still see a fair few of them outside of like the Poland meetings and stuff like that, and I've been out for Jess's Lever's do, and Becky was there as well, so it was like a big reunion. It was brilliant. I've made a lot of friends that I know I'm going to keep for the rest of my life, so that's nice.
More confident and outgoing than what I was before I went. Before I went, I was quite shy, you know, with certain people and things like that. But I think now, seeing that, I think I've got a lot more of a voice.
I do not agree with homosexuality. I think that Clause 28 will help outlaw it, and the rest will be done by AIDS. With the substantial number of homosexuals dying of AIDS, I think that's probably the best way.
3 women gay rights protesters caused pandemonium in the House of Lords when they abseiled from the public gallery onto the floor of the chamber.
With effect from today, homosexuality will no longer be a bar to service in Britain's armed forces.
It always was the police. It was either police or army for me anyway, so I'm definitely interested in the police. Obviously I'm studying public services at college anyway, so it was always kind of like a bit of a good thing to be in with the police.
I kind of do want to be a young leader now and help other people come up, because I know more hate crime is going on than I know about, and now that I know a couple of people in the group, and people have told me stories about the fact that they're not coming out to their parents because they don't know what their parents will think about it and stuff like that. So I would like to become like a young leader or something like that, just to help people come out with the parents and deal with the fact that they're gay.
The attack on James Parks was shameful, and it is a blight on our community that people can still be attacked in 2009 simply for being gay.
It has changed a lot of my point of view of things. I mean, I think I was always confident and like really comfortable with my sexuality anyway, but now I'm just really not taking any grief off anyone with it. I'm like, you know what, I'm like lucky I've got this freedom, so I'm not like going to be all shy about my sexuality and stuff. Because and seeing like the differences and seeing what people went through because, you know, their sexuality, and I'm lucky enough I'm not in that situation, I'm not in like sort of at moments where society have got that mind on them. I mean, you get some ignorant people, but no one is extremely that bad who I've met. So I'm just a lot more outgoing with it, and I want to get involved more and see if I can do anything to help the LGBT community here with like you know, people who aren't as like confident as me with sexuality. So that's what the trip's done for me anyway. Just want to help out more now.